Hello, and today we'll continue with Undefeated. Today felt like one absurdly long dream, the kind that you wake up and feels like it all happened, and it takes some convincing for you to believe it was all fake. But I think my body is ready to give out from exhaustion. Every morning, hello, and today we'll continue with Undefeated. Today felt like one absurdly long dream, the kind that you wake up and feel like it all happened, and it takes some convincing for you to believe it was all fake. But I think my body is ready to give out from exhaustion. Early morning practices are normally fun, but I'm not exactly allowed to participate with what with my ribs and all. I actually managed to sleep well for all 4 hours I managed to get. But still exhausted, it's hard to explain, but for the first time in a while, I feel a little tighter. A little lighter. It also helps that I don't have to exercise. These cardio drills look killer. Bucky's having them focus on speed and conditioning today. Come on, boys. I want to see you sweat. If your shirts don't look like you just got back from a swim, you aren't finished. Let's move. The sick bastards enjoying this. I'm seated up on the countertop, watching the rest of the men get towards it. Good cardio is one of the most important tools to have in any sport, but especially in MMA. Our bodies are moving at high intensity for potentially long periods of time. Sometimes if two fighters have equal strength and skill sets, it can come down to whoever has better conditioning. If you get exhausted too easily, you'll slip up and get caught out. One mistake is all it takes. Sometimes I can't afford to make those kinds of mistakes. None of us can, of course. I can't exactly remember a time when my cardio was terrible, but with how much Bucky makes us sweat, anyone would think we're just horribly out of shape. Right now there's 10 guys. Redline are a bunch of people that I assume are his friends. Each at a different piece of equipment. They use it at high intensity, and after half a minute or so, they all rotate to a different workout. Bucky gives him a single minute break every 20 or 30 seconds. It's hard to keep track, but after a couple of sets of that, he's finally given them a few more minutes of rest. Redline slides down the wall away from his friends. He is oddly quiet today, but he's panting like a dog, so maybe he's just as exhausted as the rest of the others. He gulps down a load of water, silent save for the huffing and puffing. Don't go getting too comfy, boys. 2 minutes and we're playing, Bucky says. A collective groan from the other guys, but both Redline and I catch each other's glances. He looks over to the group of his friends. Back to normal-buddy Bucky. Normally he asks me if he can work with his friends, but today it seems he doesn't have any choice. I'm not able to train today, Red, but you know you don't have to ask for permission to train with your friends. Redline looks down and shakes his head. He swallows. Bucky, can I, never mind, sorry. Sorry? What's up? Nothing. His friends all laugh out at some joke, and Redline looks away. Alright. Bucky says it's a game. Bucky makes us play to practice combinations. I think it's supposed to be like Simon says, but he never actually says Bucky says, so we just do whatever he tells us. We each get paired up with someone. We all put on our gloves. Bucky calls out a combination of punches, and one person has to mimic that while the other person catches the punches against their gloves. We take turns throwing and blocking with each combo. It's generally good practice, but Bucky has to keep reminding people that this is meant to exercise our speed and muscle memory, not power. It doesn't seem to stop people from swinging hard. Whatever, I don't stoop to that level. Redline really seems to be on the receiving end for a lot of it, honestly, but I can tell he prioritizes speed over power, at least in training. They give up, and Redline finds a training partner, some Lynx guy he's got in St. Weeds. I thought I recognized him from the group of guys that Redline hangs out with, but right now he's barely even looking at the cat. Mikey, Mickey, something like that. I want you boys ready. The rest of them let out a exhausted yell, but Redline just huffs and readies his stance. Sorry, did you want to go first? He speaks just loud enough for me to pause, almost like he's embarrassed to be heard. Mickey just grunts he looks bored. His hands come up as though he's holding training pads, and Bucky yells out the first combination. Ready, 1, 2. Each number corresponds with a specific strike. 1 is a jab, and 2 is a straight. Very basic beginner combo. Redline snaps his jaw. Each number corresponds with a specific strike. 1 is a jab, and 2 is a straight. Very basic beginner combo. Redline jabs. Each number corresponds with a specific strike. 1 is a jab and 2 is a straight. Very basic beginner combo. Redline snaps his jab out towards his right, then his straight towards Mickey's left. Easy enough. 1, 1, 2. 2 jabs and a straight. Mickey sends a jab out once against Redline's glove and then again, but Redline's glove moved, with his other hand moving up as if to catch his straight. There's a split second pause that he sends his straight out for Redline's other glove. Dude. Redline notices his mistake and shakes himself awake. Sorry. Mickey just grunts and readies his hands for the next combo. 1, 1, 4, 5, 2, 3, 5, 2. What the fuck? Jab, jab, real hook. Lead uppercut straight. Lead hook. Lead uppercut straight. That's a lot right out of the gate. Bucky's got a mean grin on his face. Redline nods and steps up. He jabs, hooks, hesitates, then jabs again, and pauses. Sorry, the rest of the guys are finishing their combos, but Mickey has to shake his glove to remind him what the next strike in the series is. It takes some doing, but after some slow thinking, he finishes a combo and drops his gloves, letting it outside. 1, 2, 5, 2, 3, 6. Okay, a little bit less confusing. Jab, straight, lead, uppercut, straight, lead, hook, rear, uppercut. Redline's hands come up, ready to catch the cat's punches. He sends his jab, straight, uppercut. Redline wasn't ready for his straight punch, and his head moved unexpectedly into the path of Mickey's glove. He steps back, shaking. Come on. No, he rubs his nose, chest starting to heave faster. He's breathing a bit too fast, even though we've lowered the intensity from the training earlier. He looks at his friends, laughing, and then Bucky. The kangaroo's aggressive expression lightens as he sees Redline. Alright, Redline backs up away from the other guys and starts shuffling towards the door. Sorry, I have to go. Sorry. What's up? The rest of the fighters are too busy laughing amongst themselves at something else, so no one else really catches the scene besides me, Mickey, and Bucky. Redline says his gloves and exits, trotting off down the hall. Mickey just sighs and looks at us, almost annoyed. Did you hit him hard? I tried not to. He moves into the glove saddle box for the rest of the exercise. The Lynx rolls his eyes and starts his exercise. Bucky turns to me and drops his voice. What the hell was that? No clue. He messed up a few times, but I don't think it was a big deal. It didn't look like that hard of a punch either. Nah, someone could knock him out and he still wouldn't freak out like that. Something's up. You heard anything going on? I start to speak up, but I'm drowned out by the sounds of Redline's friends laughing way too loudly as one of them got knocked down. He hasn't said anything. I don't like that. Can you keep an eye out for him? Bucky moves past me to help out the guy that just got knocked down. Practice ended and I couldn't find Redline even in our room. I eventually caught him eating dinner later that night, but he acted like nothing happened. A few more weeks passed by without much going on. Training, eating, sleeping, the good stuff, I suppose. Haven't really run into Bruce since that encounter that night, and Redline is a little bit more sparse than usual. I see his friends wandering along without him. Maybe they all got fed up with how much he talks too. Doesn't matter. I need to get ready for my next fight. Matchmaking day came and went with a no-so from Bruce, just like last time. I've been training for near a month now. After getting the okay from Drayden under supervision of Coach Bucky, and the fight's coming up soon. But first, the hardest challenge I've had to face since coming down here. Are you ready to go? Please don't make me do this. It's going to be fine. I feel sick. Jesus, Xander, it's a retirement party, not a funeral. Right, a retirement party. They throw these for every big name fighter that gets released from Fang. You missed the last, well, all of them. So I'm making you come, daughter's orders. Raiden told me, Raiden told you to make me go to the beach and get drunk with your friends? Raiden said exactly those words, yes. So I call him and double check? I don't think he appreciates being interrupted from his important doctor work, so maybe just leave the phone in the bedroom, alright? It's a party we get to socialize. I'm not necessarily adverse to parties, but I prefer it when I know the people I'm going to be seeing there. I don't even know who's retiring. You're going to have fun. I promise. Let's go. Is that all you're wearing? Redline rolls his eyes. Duh, dude. It's a beach party. Everyone's gonna go swimming. I don't know, man. I feel like most people are gonna bring a shirt at least. Sounds like you've never gone to a beach party before. You know, Red, I can't say I have. Never really had the chance in a landlocked state, but I don't think I was missing much. I must rather be on land where I can't get drifted out to sea. Seems pumped. It's the most excited I've seen him in weeks. The whole walk down, he's been rambling about family vacations to the beach. They had this giant balloon thing and a really tall tower, and then one guy sat on one end of the balloon, and another guy jumped off the tower onto it, and then the guy on the balloon just flew into the air. They called it the pudge. Each jumped for me, and I flew like 30 feet high. That sounds excruciatingly painful. It was, slapped the fur clean off my chest. He says that with a grin. We open the door to the immersion chamber and step inside. A few guys are standing around drinking at tables with some more down on the beach. Fang employees wander around, helping to get everything set up. There's a large banner across the top of the drink bar reading Farewell Ryan, along with photos of a lizard man in various intimidating poses. Ryan, the guy in Bucky's class that I helped coach a few weeks back, he seldom threatened me. I can see Redline's face tightens up. Vance. How you feeling? I think I'm gonna throw up. That's the spirit. Let's get you some alcohol. I don't really know if alcohol is an answer right now, or even if it should be the answer to anything, but Redline seems pretty stoked about it. Red drags me on up to the bar and orders something expensive sounding. The bartender asks what I'll have. Can I get lemonade? Boo! A few guys nearby that overheard it also started to boo me. I can feel my neck get hot. Come on, dude. You need to loosen up. At least grab a beer. I could do that without alcohol. You had your chance to loosen up without alcohol since you came down here. I'm starting to think you're lying to me. I roll my eyes. I don't want to drink. Come on, Zen. Stop. I turn back to the bartender to give me my order again, but he's already got me a glass of lemonade ready to go. Oh, thanks. The two of us wandered back to the empty table with Redline stopping to greet some guys every few seconds. Half of them barely grunt response back. At least the view from the table is nice. The sun's still pretty high in the sky, so people are mulling about. Seems like everyone's in good spirits. A bunch of people are swimming, a lot more just standing around, drinking and talking. I spot a few huge dudes playing volleyball down in the sand. One guy sets a ball, it goes up. A big dude spikes the ball into someone else's face hard enough to send the guy stumbling back. The ball bounces back onto the spiker's side of the net and hits the ground. The entire other team, including the gentleman on the ground, cheers loudly. Checking out the eye candy? The what? Redline giggles and takes another sip of his drink. You know the babes are hunks. They're smoking hot, Another sip. The men, hot. Redline trips over his words a lot, so this is nothing new, I shrug. They're alright, I guess. I'd be lying if I didn't at least admit some of these men were, at a base physical level, incredibly attractive. I'm not very picky about sizes or appearance, but when it comes to personality, it's a fucking desert. Guys down here are either mean, dumb, or both. Redline nudges me a bit too rough. Come on, big guy, what's the matter? Silly one of these guys has your eye. It's like a fucking chartreuse board. Charcuterie board? Yeah, that is the smorgasbord. It's one of those, but with men. There's a lot of them. I think he meant smorgasbord. I don't know, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of hot guys here. Redline makes some sound, like we're in 4th grade talking about girls around my eyes. What about you? The hyena takes a long sip and slams his empty glass down with a big satisfied grin. Oh ho ho, buddy. This is all in all you can eat buffet, and I'm looking to get my money's worth. What does that mean? Maybe bring a bit home in a doggy bag too? What does that mean? Redline just giggles, the hyena tray showing itself clear as day. Let's just say that room was occupied quite a bit before you showed up, buddy. Gross. Redline laughs, loud enough to get the attention of a nearby table, and most of my hands are trying to keep him quiet. Shut up, man. I washed the seats before you came, and after I came. Stop. Another laugh, this one much higher pitched and louder than the one before. Redline goes to grab another drink. When he returns, he starts very loudly pointing out the men he slept with, loudly naming them off and giving probably way too many details about his encounters. So he can remember all these guys' names and how big their dicks are, but he can't remember smorgasbord. He takes another long sip, trying not to spill it as he giggles. You never forget the important details, Xander. Who cares about some dumb French word when there's men to please? I guess he's got me there. There's probably some more value in that. Somewhere, I'm sure a Redline seems happy. His tail's been going a mile a minute since he started drinking. I'm gonna head down to the store. Have fun. Redline grabs my arm and starts to tug. You misunderstood, dummy. You're coming with me. He's not pulling me very hard, so I don't resist much. Planted firmly in my chair. I'll just sit up here and watch. Come on, if you won't drink alcohol, you at least gotta drink some seawater. That sounds like a worse idea. It's not even seawater. It's chlorinated. That's basically the same thing. Yeah, kid. Quit being a party pooper. I summoned back, some sort of survival instinct kicking in the hair-quake distance. Rooster snorts some hot air out. Easy, kids, a party. No one's gonna bite your head off. You couldn't if you tried. Bruce squelches Redline and flashes a big toothy grin that's now nearly touching. You want to bet on that fur ball? Redline just lets out a squeaky growl, and Bruce sits him down, his big sharp claws ruffling Redline's hair. Didn't know you two knew Ryan. We've, met. Bruce's face sours. Doesn't sound like it was a good impression. He tried to kill Xander. Well, no, but he did sub me. Bucky put a stop to him quick. Bruce lets out a sigh, his claws now scratching behind Redline's ear. I can see his tail wag as he sips from his drink. Yeah, that sounds about right. I hear he plays well in training. It's like the guy doesn't have an off switch. But you haven't seen it in action? You really think anyone outside the heavyweights wants to spar with me? He can try to be a tough guy with me if he wants. Just then the door opened and a bunch of men cheer, hooting and hollering Ryan's name. Sure enough, he sold up with a couple of friends. He looks like he's in good spirits. Someone hands him a plastic cup filled with what I assume to be alcohol, and someone else cranks the music up. Redline scampers off to mingle with anyone that will listen. I'm not sure what's worse, tagging along with him or being alone with Bruce. The big guy just glares down at me, eyes occasionally drifting to some other partygoers. He seems particularly keen on Ryan, but his eyes always return to me. So, yeah? I take a sip from my cup. What's it drinking? Lemonade, you? He simmies his cup in his hand. Just some water. Not much for alcohol these days. Attaboy, Brucey. Hydration's key. Just like I taught you. Becky strolls on in, with Drayden trailing behind. It's weird not seeing either of them in their respective uniforms. Bruce just grumbles. I never had you as a coach. Yeah, I would've worked you to the bone, you did. He rolls his eyes and takes another swig of his water. It's good to see you two. I didn't think staff would sew up. What, and miss out on all the fun? I always like seeing my fires off with the troublemakers. I don't know why he tossed my hair on that line, but luckily my antler nubs made it a little harder for that. And Drayden, you never really seemed like the party type. Hey now, I can be fun, though Bucky did offer to go with me. I tweeted Ryan a bit back when I first started. He's been in the med bay pretty frequently, believe it or not. I can't believe it, the guy fights like an animal. He's been in more fights than a lot of the men down here, and his hospital records prove it. Seems he had some rough coaching too. He ended up there a lot after sparring. Both Drayden and Bruce take a drink, glaring at Bucky. Hey, don't look at me. I didn't get him till a few weeks ago. I don't let that shit fly in my classes, at least not to the head. Ab training is fair game. Don't tempt me. You still owe me a few punches as payback. Bucky laughs nervously, then clears his throat. He just got more and more rowdy, too. 2 months for the other coaches to handle, apparently, and they sent him my way. I'm usually good with the handfuls. Look at Red. We all glance down to the hyena on the bench, who is trying and failing to wrestle down a large target man. The man then proceeds to slam his fist into Redline's body, kicking up a sizable amount of sand around his body. Redline lets out a high-pitched wheeze, followed by some energetic giggles. But they seem to be having a good time. Ryan's standing next to them, sipping a drink. He doesn't look like he's as happy as he was earlier, though. What a handful indeed. Someone ought to keep that thing on at least. Come on, guys. He's not that bad. I wasn't insulting him. Oop, incoming. Redline staggers up, just absolutely coated in either sweat or ocean water. He's still giggling, and his abs are as red as the blood on his face. Guys, hang on. Hi, Buck and Doctor. It's hard for him to get a word in between his heavy panting giggling. I'm gonna be right back. Ryan's in a bad mood, so I thought of something that would cheer him up. And without waiting for a response, the little guy sprints off out the door, the red pitter-patter of his paws trailing away. I never see him this energetic. Have you met the guy? He's on some kind of high all the time. Only a few times, but even then, he's at least a little more mellowed out. He does loosen up a lot at the parties. Not that the rest of you ever so. I find ways to keep his trap shut while he's working out. Hard to keep chattering when you can barely breathe. Just as long as you... Oh, good lord. The beach volleyball player from earlier strolls by, his muzzle held up in the air. His paw keeps it pinched shut, but blood is still coming out. Hey bud, are you alright? Don't do that. Drayden leans the dog forward, and he says something garbled by the blood in his snout. The doctor huffs and leads him towards the door. Sorry guys, I'll be right back. Come here. I'll get you taken care of. As Drayden reaches the exit, the door slams open with Redline waddling back in, holding a watermelon. Let's smash some melons. The crowd goes silent, mostly from the shock of the door slamming open and Redline yelling. But after a few seconds, someone speaks up. But you only have one melon. I only have one. But it'll be fun. Redline drags a crowd of people down to the source, splaying out a beach towel is setting the watermelon in the center. It's about the size and shape of a medicine ball. Why is it all round? Shouldn't they be like an egg shape? You're like an egg shape. Roost's expression squinches up as Redline drags Ryan into the circle of people. The lizard's holding a different cup of alcohol, and judging by the steadiness of his stance, he seems to be pretty hammered. Hey, quit grabbing me. Come on, dude, it'll be fun. It's just like in my favorite anime where I don't want to play your fucking dumb bullshit. The lizard tugs his arm back and storms off. Checking the rest of the contents of his cup, Redline just lets out a giggle and wanders over to a chair. He pulls out a wooden baseball bat from underneath. He wants the first swing. Before anyone can speak up, Redline stumbles back into the circle, raising the bat over his head and slamming it down onto the watermelon. It makes a dull thud, but ultimately does not move. The crowd seems a little confused, and the more people that join the circle, the less people seem to understand. Xander. All eyes turn to me. My ears flip down as Redline marches in my direction, swinging the bat lazily from side to side. Are you picking any of this up? Kinda. Should he be swinging that around like that? It's your turn. Redline yanks me into the center, wrapping a piece of cloth over my eyes and starts turning me in place. Do I get a say in this? Shut up, Zan. It's solstice. Yeah, shut up. It's solstice. Solstice isn't for like 4 months now. It's for like 4 more months. Hey, can you chill with the spinning? Redline giggles and spins me a few more times until I generally thoroughly dizzy. He shoves a bat into my hands with enough force to almost knock me over. Now swing. And the melon. And the melon. I can't see it. Go for it 4 steps and swing. No, you'll hit me. We don't know if I believe you. We don't know if I believe either of you. Go forward 5 steps and then swing. And I definitely don't believe you. That gets a chuckle from both of them. The crowd actually seems into it now, talking amongst themselves or laughing as I stumble around. A few of them shout out commands which way I need to go and when to swing. There are a lot of conflicting commands, Redline giving out some more of the consistent ones, so I find myself relying mostly on him, if I can piece him out from under the crowd. Okay, now, I guess. I raise the bat over my head and slam it down directly in front of me. Whenever I hit, it doesn't feel like a melon. I swipe the blindfold off and see the bat pressed firmly against the tower next to the melon. The crowd makes some sounds of light-hearted disappointment, but Redline stumbles forward, giggling about how close I was. He swipes the bat from my hands and starts swinging it wildly over his head. Who's next? Who wants to go next? I got it. Come here, what? Redline's ears folded and his tail flickers, but he's smiling bigger than ever as Bruce steps forward and snatches the bat from Redline's weak grasp. Hey, I gotta spin around first. Spin around? Yeah, like a pinata. You get more points if it's a clean break. Yeah, alright, sir, let's spin you around. Bruce gives a dark grin as he starts spinning. Redline plays the Ying, starts to protest, but after a few turns he stumbles off to the side and gets caught by a crowd member, giggling like a drunk idiot. So I just gotta break the melon. Bruce steps up to the plate, twisting the bat in his whip. He's got an evil look in his eyes. Well, you gotta spin too. Redline protests, but he's giggling the entire time. Bruce rolls his eyes and twirls in place on one foot. There, I'll spin too. And after we spin around, we smash the melon. In a single death motion, the baseball bat streaks through the air like a bolt of brown lightning striking down on a collision course with the watermelon. The crowd stands in stunned silence, seeing the baseball bat split in two over the watermelon. The broken half flies off to the side, pitching itself into the sand next to my feet. Bruce too manages to express shock, anger, concern, confusion all at once. He tosses the other half of the bat to the side. Redline, on the other hand, is howling with laughter. What the hell, Red? The champ reaches down to grab the melon, but his hand slips when he tries to lift it. He reaches again, clutching it from below and scowling as he stands up with the melon cradled to his chest. What the fuck is this thing made of? Why is it so goddamn slimy? Bruce drops the melon and it thumps into the sand. A distinct green streaks run up Bruce's forearms and hands, the same color as the melon. The melon, on the other hand, seems to have leaked its color all over the dino's scales. Redline once again howls laughing. Bucky moves forward and wipes the melon clean with a towel it was sat on before. Red, this is just one of Drayden's medicine balls, painted green. Where else was I supposed to get a melon down here? What the hell is wrong with you? It looks fun. The crowd just sort of dissipates, some of them laughing, some of them seemingly disappointed that there was no watermelon. Bucky hands Bruce a towel to wipe the paint off. Did Drayden give you permission to paint his equipment? Redline just laughs harder and tries to wink, closing both eyes separately before scooping the medicine ball up. It'll be our little secret. You guys up for some volleyball with this thing? So I'll spike it to your face. You want to join that other guy with Drayden? Even more snickers from the Ying as he scampers back up to the rest of the party. The three of us follow behind. Bruce lets out a sigh. Was really looking forward to that melon. Can't you just go up topside and get one on one of your days off? You probably got plenty of vacation days from beating my ass. The dino stops in his tracks, silent for a moment, then he starts to say something, then Bucky chimes in. Oh yeah, you boys got your fight coming up. You nervous? I don't know how to answer that, obviously. It feels weird to admit that when Bruce is standing right here. Bruce is also silent, now walking closer behind us. He inhales like he's about to say something, but ultimately breathes out, defeated. Geez, that's nervous, huh? Makes sense that a big lug like you would be scared of my pride and joy. Bruce lets out a quiet sigh as we reach the top of the ramp up to where the rest of the partygoers are. Yeah. The party goes on for a bit, the music getting louder, the later the night goes on. Somebody dims the lights with the sky. It turns to night time eventually, but people are still raring to go. Even Ryan looks like he's having a nice time. Redline manages to convince people, Bruce included, to play Spin the Bottle. Well, his modified version of it. Whoever the bottle lands on has to play Truth or Punch, where you have to tell a truth or get punched in the gut. Most of the guys picked punts on their first turn, then truth after. Once they got a hard question, they just went back to punch each other. Seems alcohol really gets these guys fired up. Drayden finally returns with the volleyball victim. The poor guy's muzzle had to get bandaged up before he can get back to jamming out with his buds. He and Bucket actually just wanted off to go for a little walk on the beach. I find it hard to drown out the pounding of the music, even if my party anxiety has boiled down to a simmer. Staring out into the ocean helps me calm down. And once I came here more often, it's probably the closest I'll get to a beach vacation at this rate. Hey, Bruce approaches from the side about 6 or 7 feet away, his back against the wall, lining his patio, looking out over the beach. Hey, he responds in silence. A breath inhales, then a pause, and a slow exhale. Enjoying the party? I can barely hear him under all the music. Not really my thing. Bruce grunts under his breath and sips a bit from his cup. What's the next weigh-in? Don't need one. Don't need one? Nah. Any particular reason? They don't tell me everything. You know as much as I do. What were they planning on telling me? Again, no clue. All Ted told me is that they won't need any more pictures. They took enough pics and videos of our fights to get whatever marketing bullshit they need. So we don't need to do the weigh-ins anymore. Oh, sorry. He grumbles. Don't gotta apologize to me. Never like going to those fucking things anyway. Bruce turns his head to a cluster of people. At least Wes is enjoying himself. He does that a lot. Yeah, he talks a lot too. You don't gotta remind me. That manages to get a chuckle from Bruce. Yeah, he talks a lot about his friends. Says a lot of nice stuff about you too. And I bet he'd be nice to you even if you were as mean as you think you are. So maybe you can chill the fuck out, yeah? Okay. All eyes meet for a split second, then he turns away. Why are you telling me all this? I don't know. You seemed pretty worried about it a while back, after the haircut and all. After the haircut, the trim, I remember getting really hard from the meds and someone carried me to my room, but that... Wait, what do you... I did to everybody. It's Juan's birthday. The music dims down as everyone turns a red line. Ryan is laughing uncomfortably as people start to cheer and wish him a happy birthday. Dude, it's not my birthday. You're drunk. No, you're fucking hammered, dude. They start to stammer about who's more drunk. Bruce and I wander up to the crowd, if only to observe Red being a giggling mess. I want everyone shut up. It's not my birthday. He yells the words with some deadly serious conviction, but goes back to smiling after a chill creeps up my spine. Hey, dude, if it's not your birthday, then why are we celebrating? The lizard sort of scowls and shuts his cup while the red line rambles. Because I know you didn't quit. What the hell are you talking about? A big grin spreads across Redline's face. Come on, I get around. I know that you got fired. The crowd's rambles drop to a whisper, all eyes on the hyena. You got fired because you're so mean. And you beat everyone up in the gym. But I don't think you're mean. You're a lizard, man. You got that tough skin. Or you're some kind of snake. Either way, it's a fun party. Are you gonna celebrate when you leave? Or get some stupid city job where everyone forgets who you are? Your friends are all down here living their dream, and your family doesn't want anything to do with you. What the hell is someone like you supposed to do? Maybe you can start your own gym and have them all be each other too. One's fist crashes into Redline's muzzle, forcing him backwards as everyone around springs into action. A dozen or two drunk, angry men try to engage, whether it's to defuse or swing on instinct. Someone catches Redline and Bruce immediately charges into the fray. The Donna grabs Ryan, pulling him into a chokehold and holding him away from Redline. Everyone, cool the fuck down. Whatever yelling, moving, fighting had broken out stops instantly. Bruce's booming voice silenced the crowd, saving for one thing. Redline propped up in someone's arms, giggling like a hyena. Ryan tries to struggle, swinging at Bruce's arms, but I can tell his chokehold is firm. The lizard starts to resist less and less as seconds pass. I'm cool. He taps out, desperately slapping against Bruce's bicep to signify he is submitted. Bruce doesn't budge, dragging Ryan off to one side behind the crowd. Everyone else starts to mow around, the crowd dissipating. What the hell's going on? Bucky charges in, first to the giggling Redline, then over to Bruce and Ryan. I can hear him shouting something, drawn out by the music. An exhausted Drayden comes jogging up shortly after, and he is considerably out of breath. The doctor immediately rushes to Redline, who gets passed off into Drayden's arms. Xander, can you give me a hand? I don't like hearing this panic in his voice. I too follow up, and after some awkward positioning, we manage to get Redline lifted up onto my back. Drayden leads away, marching straight out of the emergency chamber. It's a long, silent walk from the beach to the medbay, silent save for Redline's constant, insistent giggling. I'm almost scared. I knew hyenas laugh a lot, but this doesn't feel natural. He sounds nervous, scared. I really think that just a few weeks ago, I was in a similar position, getting carried away by Redline after the whole bench press incident. Maybe this is how he felt. Maybe he didn't carry me away out of pity. Maybe he was just scared for me. But soon enough, we make it into an empty room and manage to deposit the giggling Ying into a bed. Keep him there. I need to go grab something to stop the bleeding. The doctor leaves him left alone with Redline. He's still going, laughing like a car engine turning over and over and over again. A paw reaches out to me, and let it fall flat, and it reaches out again for the first time since the punch. Redline looks at me. He's crying. I've seen him cry from laughter before, but this isn't the same. Zan, I'm not sure what comes over me. His desperate attempts to pull me closer, to grab me, to have me near him. I step closer. Redline yanks me into him, his arms locking behind me. I do the same. His laughter falters for a second, only getting louder as his muzzle rests on my shoulder. He swallows and he laughs. The laughter chokes and he cries. Redline clutches me, his full weight pressing against my body as he holds forward. And he sobs. I'm so sorry. I fucked up again. Again? Every few sobs he slips back into laughter, only to cling to me tighter. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep doing this. I tense my arms a bit, completed a hug. This only manages to make him sob harder. It's okay. You'll be okay. My hand rolls up and down his backside gently. For a moment, his sobs are heavy, weary, exhausted. A few seconds pass, though he starts to calm down. The quiet reduces to sniffles, the occasional drunk hiccup. After a moment, Drayden comes back with a roll of gaze. I pull away, leaving Redline's drunken arms to fall flat. He almost falls forward, too, but Drayden catches him and holds him in place. Sorry. Drayden bundles up a bit, a gaze, and holds it over the bleeding nose. It's okay, Red. Sorry. It's alright. You're okay. I need you to stay awake from me, okay? Yes, sir. Sorry. Shh, you're alright. His voice is so warm and soft, like a father comforting a child. Sandra, could you please wait in my office? It's down the hall, last door on the right. I don't need to question him. I make my way out and head into the empty room. It looks identical to any of the other examining rooms I've been in. I'm starting to wonder if he just claimed this one as his office. After a few moments pass, Drayden strolls in and shuts the door behind him. Sorry about that, Xander. Are you feeling alright? I'm fine. Just a bit shaken up. How's Redline? He drops down in the seat. Nosebleed, but nothing broken. Thankfully, he'll be alright. Right. I take it B. I'm not sure how to address this. And the crying? Right, you saw that. It's, Just then the door creaks open and a familiar kangaroo peeks his head in. He darts to Drayden, then notices and smiles at me. Ah, you got company. I can come back later. No, it's fine. How are things? Becky steps in and closes the door quietly behind him. He sets a large medicine ball, roughly the size and shape of a spherical watermelon on the examining table. And where did you get that? One of the great mysteries of our world, Drayden dear. We got wine sorted. For the most part, security got called to take him back up to his room. Bruce is clearing out the party. Wanted to check in on Red, but the lights were off, so Drayden sighs and leans back in his chair. Becky just stands there, awkwardly, both of them silent for a moment. Is this something that happens often? The punching? No, not with Redline at least. The drinking, yeah. Redline drinks? Yeah. You probably don't see it too much since alcohol is allowed outside of parties. I never really know how to approach him about it either, since you tier 1 fighters aren't normally even allowed at the parties. Is he an alcoholic? Drayden and Bucky both avert their eyes. It's hard to say. If he had a restricted access to alcohol, it's a possibility. At the very least, he cuts loose a bit too hard. At this point, it's a pattern, and it's not a pattern I like seeing or hearing about. I don't really go to parties either, so it's been weeks since he called me Buck. When outside for the party, he's been pretty wasted, so I don't count that. I've seen him alone more often than not these days. Normally he's got his group of friends buzzing around, but lately not so much. But I know when there's a party, he goes wild. Big guy like Bruce could handle 4 or 5 big drinks in one night. No problem, but Red's about a third of his weight. He's drowning 6 or 7. I feel like he's overcompensating. He's way more lively at those parties than he has been in the last month. Pair that drinking with his anxiety and depression, and he clears his throat and looks to Bucky. But that's still something we need to talk to him about, so... Anxiety. Drayden looks like he said something he shouldn't have. Doubt Fang's gonna give him the time of day once they can't milk his concussors for money anymore. Just another body to throw out on the fire to keep the lights on. And pay for the commissioner's fucking vacation homes. The 3 of us are silent for a long time, save for the buzzing of the fluorescent lights above us. I don't know what to say. I don't know if I even want to say anything. Redline's in the next room over, sleeping the alcohol off. I hope he's sleeping well. I think I'll stop right here. So we'll continue with Redline. Well, I say we'll continue with Undefeated next time. I mean, I've kind of been tripping over words today. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm not. But anyway, apparently what Redline said was true about the lizard. What's his name? And the organization Fang decided to get rid of him because he caused too much problems for the coaches and for the fighters. So it wasn't really a retirement party. It was just an excuse to get rid of him, you know. And he's been fighting for 12 years, and after that many years, and plus with his tendency for going all out and being a monster, just beating people up, and him getting himself beaten up, he's been sent to the med bay with Drayden a bunch of times over the years. So, like Drayden said, it could cause your brain to swell, and it will end up being in a type of shape that it's not supposed to be. And I've heard this a lot in the news about boxers and professional football players. You know, boxers, they punch each other in the head, and football players, when they bump their heads a lot. Like when a football player tackles another football player, you know, they often strike the head to make the player fall down. So it gives them anger issues, and after 12 years being down here in Fang, the isolation can get to you, and plus all the hits in the head, all that's a bad combination for the lizard. It still doesn't excuse what he did to Redline, and I still don't like him, but he was very dedicated to what he was doing, and he went through a lot physically, so, and I can kind of understand him getting pissed at Redline for saying all that stuff about him, even if it's true. But from his point of view, the lizard guy, what's his name? I forget his name, but anyway, from his point of view, he thought he was retiring, that he was, you know, this retirement party, when in fact he was getting fired. So he knocked out Redline while Redline was drunk, and Bruce had to put him in a chokehold to keep him away from attacking Redline some more, and basically the party ended there. And about the organization itself, by what Bucky said about the commissioner and how they treat their fighters after they get really messed up, it seems like it's not really a good organization. And I think the commissioner's character is one who is ruthless and making money, who doesn't really care about his fighters, just as long as he makes money and the organization makes money and the viewers are satisfied and the sponsors. That's all he cares about. And so we haven't seen much of him, just little CG of him when he and Redline were in the office and they talked about, when he and I'm forgetting names already. When he and Xander were in the office and he talked to Xander, you know, kind of chastised him about sending information about his contract online to random people. Yeah, he didn't seem like a good person, so anyway, apparently we now know that the person who, well, Bruce revealed that he was the one who took Xander to his room out after he was kind of out of it physically. He was the one who took him to his room, and before Xander can react to it, really, the whole thing with Redline and that lizard guy happened. So this was a beat steam episode here, and unfortunately it didn't end off well. So in the next episode we'll see Xander fight Bruce again. And it seemed like Bruce was not looking forward to him having to fight Xander, and he was trying to make conversation with Xander and try to, be friendly to him. And Xander seemed to be a little bit more friendly. I mean, he wasn't really friendly with him, but he wasn't willing to cut the conversation short either. So that's a little bit of improvement from Xander. So anyway, that's all for now. Thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.